Now, farmers in Maiduguri have decried the poor harvest experience this season caused by the shortage of rainfall and threats of terrorists. Benue State farmers in the course of November suffered casualties from Boko Haram terrorists. The farmers appealed to the government to still strengthen security in farming communities. The report.
The hope for a bountiful harvest for the year was deflated as a result of shortage of rainfall experienced in most parts of the country, and it's no doubt the effect of climate change. The farming community in Borno State was affected also, as some farmers couldn't harvest much this year, and food insecurity was also a threat, with close to 15 farmers killed by terrorists in November. The Agro Rangers, a component of the NSCDC in synergy with other paramilitary agencies to provide security to farming communities likely vulnerable to attacks.
Noma a shekarar nan da ba mu samu abin kirki bane. Kaga ruwa ne ya kasa mana.
We didn't get much from the farming season this year because of the rain, and you know the NGOs supported us with food provisions, but it's no longer happening. And also the harvest this year is poor. I've been farming for 3 years now. I've not seen the Agro Rangers with my eyes. It's not like there's no security. If not, why will Boko Haram come and steal your food and collect your bike?
To gaskiya ni dai gaskiya ba ni da masaniya akan wannan bangaren.
Soldiers have been protecting farmers. Their presence doesn't make anyone afraid, and there have not been any problem. But for the Agro Rangers, I don't know. You know, when we come to the military checkpoint to pass and go to our farms, we see other security outfits, but one will not know which agency they are unless they identify themselves, and they are doing their jobs as expected.
Suna zuwa, suna gaskiya, suna zuwa, suna patrol wata rana muna haduwa da su.
They do come around the farm for patrol. Honestly, we meet them some days. They ask us if we are okay and safe. We say yes. They are trying so much. We want the government to continue to provide more security for farmers. The Civil Defense Commandant Musa Farouk said it made tremendous achievements in security, but there is need to expand its operational activities across the state.
A lot of emphasis is placed on just the Maiduguri metropolis and the surrounding, the contiguous villages or communities around. And the financing, the motorization are basically concentrated here within this location. Other areas, farming areas, agrarian communities of Bama, Biugoza, etc., there are deficits. I want to call up for more intervention in these areas, because our boys cannot go to farm without, you can't be mobile. If you're not mobile, your movement is constrained.
As the harvest season draws to a close, farmers hope that the new season will bring bountiful produce and a more safe environment to keep their agricultural resilience alive. Beatrice Kuruti, Trust TV News, Maiduguri.
Personnel of the Hisbah Command in Kano State have been urged to redouble efforts and keep regular watch and patrol across market areas, motor parks, and uncompleted buildings in an attempt to checkmate the rising cases of rape being perpetrated by some disgruntled elements in Kano State. The State Commissioner of Women Affairs, Children and Disabled, Hajia Aishatu Lawal, gave the charge during a workshop for Hisbah officials from the Northwest Zone on gender-based violence and girl-child protection held in Kano on Friday. Represented by the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Dr. Saada Tubala, said the call became necessary in view of the alarming rate of rape cases, especially in such public places. According to her, the frequent patrol of these places by Hisbah operatives will check the persistent cases of young boys and girls that are being lured into corners to perpetrate the immoral acts on them, while expressed hope that the workshop would avail the participants the opportunity to learn new surveillance skills that will help them prevent sexual abuse of children.
We conducted on these key stakeholders, meaning the Hizbah command from these 6 states, Kaduna, Katsina, Kano, Jigawa, Zamfara, Kebbi, and the rest. Like I said earlier, it's just to assess what we have so far achieved in terms of the training and what the individual states, are able to implement based on the capacity building they acquired, after the training. And we believe what we have seen following the evaluation at the end of this, and when we compare with what transpire in these various states, shows remarkable achievements, not in terms of the reduction of the incidences of gender-based, but the strategy, they have now, adapted and started implementing, and also the better understanding of the existing laws of the various states. These laws, cut across either is it Sharia law and the conventional law. The Hizbah officials, they have a better understanding now, and in terms of approach, in terms of handling cases on gender violence.
There is a growing concern among commercial motorcycle operators in Osun State over deadly attacks by motorcycle snatchers. In the latest incident, 2 bike snatchers attacked and shot a commercial motorcyclist in Ile-Ife and took away his bike, but were eventually arrested by the police. Trust TV's Hamid Oyegbade reports.
Trust TV's investigation reveals that the 2 men had hired a commercial motorcycle operator to take them to a location within Ile-Ife. But on their way, they told the rider to stop, shot him, and stole his motorcycle. The victim was rushed to hospital by people in the neighborhood and reported the matter to the nearest police station. Efforts by policemen, however, yielded good results with the arrest of the perpetrators, Ojo Tunde and Olayemi Abiodun.
Agbamensin, a pè ní ọ̀kadà nígbà tó agbede wa débi tí ó ń gbé wa lọ, a wá gbà lọ́wọ́ rẹ̀.
We hired the motorcyclist to take us to somewhere. On our way, we attacked and shot him. We took his bike away. Thereafter, policemen tracked and arrested us.
This is the machine that was recovered. So they shot the victim went to hospital. On the report, we went after them through the tracker that was on the machine, and eventually they were arrested. One of them has been arrested before, so touched him to court.
Also, the anti-cultism squad of the Osun State Police Command arrested a suspected cultist, Mohammed Okpeyemi, for causing breach of peace at the Osun State Polytechnic, Ire, though the suspect denied his involvement in secret cults.
So he's the leader of one of the cultist gang, and he's charged for disturbing the public peace. The case under investigation. We are going after the other gang members, and they will soon be charged to court.
What led me to the police custody was the accusations that I was disturbing the school peace.
The police vowed to rid the state of criminal elements and assured residents of safety of their lives and properties. Hamid Oyegbade, Trust TV News, Osogbo.
Residents of Durumin area of Kano State have warned of the likelihood of disease outbreaks in the area due to the fecal pollution following alleged negligence of the custodial center in the area. According to Trust TV's findings, following its deplorable condition, the residents have been exposed to unhealthy stench that oozes out of the center due to lack of proper attention. Trust TV's Usman Balarabe tells us more.
Fecal pollution is a major threat to human health. Experts say it can cause diseases such as typhoid, hepatitis, dysentery, and cholera, among others, housing hundreds of families. This is Durumiya community, situated behind the Emir's Palace in Kano State. It is also behind an over centuries-old custodial center known as the Kurmawa Central Prison. Upon reaching this community, the stench of human feces engulfs the air. Trust TV's investigations traced the source of the stench to a drainage behind the high walls and barbed wire fence of the Kano Custodial Center, which houses over 1,500 inmates. Here, voluminous liters of human feces are released from the custodial center periodically through the drainage system and into the community's gutters.
In this community, residents are protesting over how feces released from this Kano Central Prison endangers lives of many residents and affects businesses.
Daga can dai ina jin damo shi suke yi, tunda wani lokacin ma za ga har da guda-gudansa suke koro shi. Idan suka koro duk wanda yake bakin titi to bai sai zauna ba. To in sun koro shi ba mu samu ɗebo ruwan nan ba. Haka za mu haƙura har sai lokacin da muka yi dabara ko mu nemo aizal inda hali waɗanda Allah ya sa suna nan su zuba a ɗan kashe warin sannan a ɗebo ruwan nan. Kuma yanzu a ce inda ake ɗiban ruwa a wanka a alwala a girki yanzu a ce kuma ana ɗiban najasa. A kaga wata annoba za ta iya samuwa musamman ta kwalara da sauransu.
Guda mu ma nan akwai kawuna nan masu da muka kai shi asibiti shi ma yayi amai da gudawa. Akwai ran da ma'aikacin su ne aka zubo shi ma yayi amai din an nan gurin ma ya ringa amai. So muna samu irin kuma aka ringa gani yara suna kuraje ko kaga ana gudawa haka a cikin gari wani lokacin da abubuwa haka.
The situation is more worrisome for women in the community.
Wallahi wari ai abun ba daɗi. Wallahi kullun turaren wuta duk wata na sai turaren wuta 5,000 to sun ƙara masa kuɗi a ranar sai mu sa su 3 turaren wuta tsakani da Allah air fresh na mu sa na tsinke mu sa na hayaki a kullun haka miki saboda wannan warin
gaskiya in sanna nake jin warin bana jin daɗi ji nake kaman zan amai sai dai dole in hakura in tashi in canza guri kafin wani lokaci amma yawanci wajen dare wajen tara haka suke sako shi.
Gaskiya hakan yana haifar min da illa saboda idan suka koro za ka ga duk kwastomomin sun tafi sai a banni da abincin bai kare ba. In suka koro ruwan kashin yana haifar min da illa saboda sai kwastomomin duk su tafi su ban min abincin bai kare ba. Wannan abincin shine rayuwata da ni da 'ya'yana.
A Texas-based Nigerian public health researcher in the United States of America, Dr. Abdulaziz Bako, explained that communities like Durumiya risks a lot of human diseases.
Feces contain a lot of harmful organisms in addition to potentially harmful chemicals. Also, they contain a lot of harmful organisms. We call them pathogens. And these pathogens might cause a lot of human diseases, particularly gastrointestinal diseases. And examples of such diseases are cholera, dysentery, typhoid fever, salmonella infection, E. coli infection, hepatitis A, and a host of other diseases that might be caused by those pathogens.
But the Nigerian Correctional Service in Kano State says, though the service is concerned, such environmental issues are expected in overcrowded facilities.
So the service is concerned for the environmental complaint from the residents of the Kurmawa quarters, where our facility is located. The facility, it was built in 1910 for over 100 years, and it was built to house 750 inmates. But right now, it locks more than 500 inmates. So this environmental issue is expected as a result of overcrowding. So it is not unintentional. It was as a result of the sewage, but a sewage disposal reservoir was built in the custodial center to control the spillage.
While the fall odor makes it almost unbearable to live in the community, residents say they have already lost hope in government agencies.
Wallahi mun yi yunkuri mun rubuta takardu mun yi iyayenmu wallahi abin da ya gagara sai muke dauka ma mu wata kila kaman ba in Kano bane.
But the Kano State Ministry of Environment, which is responsible for regulating and monitoring environmental issues in the state, says it has not received any complaint from the community.
As a ministry and as a director of public enlightenment of the ministry, I think we had it now for the first time from you. So they should put it in writing, they should document it, make a case or make an appeal to the ministry. So when we receive the petition, or rather the complaint from the resident of that area, so definitely we are going to set our machinery and assign the director pollution control department of the ministry to go and ascertain the situation and assess and evaluate the cause or otherwise, and they will come back and advise professionally and adequately on what to do so that people in that area will not have such kind of inconveniences or faces as you rightly mentioned. So I think these are the procedure.
However, Trust TV obtained a copy of the latest letter written by the community to the State Commissioner of Environment, which was received and acknowledged by the Ministry on the 13th of September this year. While hope seems lost, residents of Drumiya community are hopeful that an action is taken to allow them to have a serene feel beyond the Hamilton season.
No fewer than 11 inmates of the Enugu Correctional Center have been released under the federal government's prison decongestion program. The inmates were drawn from the Enugu, Nsukka, as well as Oji River and Ibete-Olo custodial centers. The inmates were handed over to the Minister of Interior, Dr. Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, who was in Enugu on for their official release to their families and society. Recall that the Ministry of Interior flagged off the release of 4,068 inmates sentenced to various terms of imprisonment with option of fine and compensation in custodial centers nationwide. Speaking during the ceremony at the Enugu Maximum Correctional Center, the minister said the gesture was part of measures to decongest custodial centers and make them humane for proper reformation and rehabilitation to take place. He said that as at November 2023, there were about 80,804 inmates in 253 custodial facilities nationwide, whose total installed capacity was less than 50,000 inmates. Tunji-Ojo acknowledged that the alarming figures show that Nigeria's custodial facilities are overcrowded, necessitating the initiative targeted towards addressing the overcoming conundrum bedeviling the custodial centers and their reformatory function. The minister said that most of the inmates at the verge of regaining their freedom were indigent who could not afford to pay their fines and were languishing in custody. He also disclosed that the philanthropic individuals, the groups, and the corporate bodies raised a sum of 585 million naira only for their release as part of their corporate social responsibility. The minister advised the released inmates to stay off crime and criminality, charging their immediate family and society not to stigmatize them. Trust TV, the television arm of the Media Trust Group, MTG, has emerged as the Media House of the Year in the League of Extraordinary Achievers Award. Trust TV emerged winner following its investigative and educative content in just 2 years of existence. The award was presented at an award ceremony organized by Gaze Production in Kaduna. Adeyemi Adekunle, the convener, LEAA, said this is the third edition of LEAA where they recognized personalities and organizations making a difference. According to him, he has been following Trust TV for some time and noticed that it is a unique station whose programs are balanced across the spheres of life. He said Trust TV's political program, sports, and education are awesome. That's why the LEAA identify with the organization. The Northwest Bureau Chief of the station, Ahmed Detti, while receiving the award, thanked the organizers for finding Trust TV worthy of the recognition.
The award is the Media House of the Year award. And this award is presented to Trust TV. Trust TV. Let's put our hands together for Trust TV.
I've been following Trust TV for some time, and I noticed Trust TV is a unique station. And if you check the programs of Trust TV, it has balanced across different spheres of life. Their political program, their sports program, their educational Trust TV are doing amazingly well. And from what we do in League of Extraordinary Achievers Awards, we identify organizations that are doing well and have paid their price. So give them the award.
Trust TV is still young, but it has been winning awards. It's good to win awards. It shows really the good job you are doing is being appreciated. And the awards will propel you and ginger you to even do more, and inspire others also to try to emulate the good thing.
You're watching News Hour on Trust TV. Coming up, students lament deplorable state of accommodation in institution. This and more after the break. Stay with us.
Welcome to Trust TV, where we document the Nigerian story. Our programming showcases the rich culture and diversity of Nigeria. We strive to amplify the voices that make our nation unique. Our programming is designed to take you on a journey through the different tastes of entertainment in our country. We showcase the best of Nigerian culture, from traditional craft to cutting-edge technology. Our team of expert journalists are dedicated to unveiling the intricacies of our culture and telling the untold stories that binds us all. And let's not forget the food. Nigeria has diverse and flavorful cuisines, some of the favorites to millions across the world. What is Nigeria without its people, their passions and their talent? Trust TV is not just a channel, it's a platform that brings you closer to everything that makes Nigeria great. Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is News Hour on Trust TV. Here's a recap of our top stories. Robochi Borno farmers demand for continuous protection as Oshun residents express worry over attacks on motorcycle riders. Again, Trust TV bags award for insightful programming, documentary and news. Now moving on to more stories, the Federal Road Safety Corps and 9 passengers, they said that 9 passengers sustained varying degrees of burns in auto crash on Ogbomosho-Oyo Expressway. The sector commander in the state, Joshua Ade Kanye, who confirmed the incident in an interview with the news agency of Nigeria, said the accident, which occurred on Saturday, involved a trailer and a truck in the Sekono area along Ogbomosho-Oyo Expressway. Ade Kanye said that 9 out of the total 13 people involved in the accident got burnt, while 4 others escaped unhurt. According to Adekanye, the accident happened around 3:30 a.m. on Saturday, and the truck vehicle caught fire while the trailer collided with it. He said a likely cause of the trailer colliding with the truck may be as a result of overspeeding or wrongful overtaking. The sector commander said the burnt victims were referred to the University of Ilorin Teaching Hospital for treatment, adding that the RS 11.31 Ogbomosho and RS 11.312 Olo commands conducted a rescue operation. Adekanye said other agencies that carried out the rescue operation are the Fire Service and Odo-Aba Police Division. The President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, has declared that the ruling All Progressive Congress has come to stay in the South-South. Akpabio spoke while receiving the national executive of the party from South-South, led by the national vice chairman, Victor Giadom, who paid him a courtesy visit in Abuja. The report.
He expressed confidence that with its current performance, the party will do better in the region during future elections. He said indications of this were clearly shown by the performance of the party in the zone in the last general elections.
The only way we can pay back the national leadership of our party, the only way we can show appreciation to Mr. President for standing by the South-South to produce a Senate President after over 45 years is for us to make sure that in 2027 we give him and the entire APC resounding victory in the 6 states of the South-South region. We won the presidential election in Rivers State, where the chairman comes from. It shows that things are bound to happen. And of course, for you to have made such appreciable effort in even winning in 2019, the whole of Bayelsa State, but for technical issues in the court, it shows clearly that APC has come to stay in the South-South region.
We are also here to encourage you to do all within your powers to continue to support the President, Commander-in-Chief, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFRO, and ensure the success of his administration renewed hope agenda. As the zonal ESCO of our great party in our region, we assure you of our continued support, particularly in ensuring that the APC wins more states in the South-South, and also in attracting dividends of democracy to the South-South geopolitical zone. We believe that with you, in partnership with the zonal ESCO, the socio-economic prosperity of our people will be guaranteed.
President of the Senate therefore charged leadership of the APC in the region to work assiduously to ensure that the APC win next year's governorship election in Edo State.
The lawmaker representing the people of Njaba State constituency in the Imo State House of Assembly, Bennett Ozioma, and some other residents of the Imo State are reacting to the litigation that is trailing the just concluded election. While some call on the losers to concede defeat, others are saying that Uzodima's victory in the governorship election is full of controversy that should be challenged. Trust TV's Ajibade Praise tells us more in this report.
It is no doubt that lots of sectors in the state, especially the rural roads, are begging for urgent attention. Hence, the unanimous call that litigation capable of distracting the government be put aside. Other residents share contrary view.
Well, to me, I won't say the winning is fake because people came out to vote for him, and I believe he merited it. And going to court, I don't think is the best solution, because even if you go to court, the fact remains that he won the election, and we all know that he won the election.
Going to court, I don't think it's going to draw him back, because even when we had the presidential election and the court case, the country was still moving front. So I believe the state will still be ongoing while the court will be doing their thing. And I pray that justice will come through this time around.
The truth of the matter, we don't have a judiciary, because if you have a judiciary, the truth of there was no election. How can you conduct election? You score yourself 27/27. Does it mean the other candidates have no local government of their own? Samdad is from Ikeduru. He lost Ikeduru. Agwatak is from my side. He's Tobom. He lost Tobom.
While others see nothing wrong with the development, this lawmaker said the call for litigants to withdraw their cases against Uzodimma became necessary to allow the governor focus on delivering dividends of democracy to the people.
Going to court is a normal thing, but I don't advise them to go and waste their money. I think my advice to these people is to come back, queue into the moving train, join Senator Hope Uzodimma to make him better. Spending this money going to court, wasting the resources of Imo State in court is not the right thing to do.
On the issues of insecurity, the lawmaker said those perpetrating the crime are enemies of the state, and it takes the collective effort of all to get rid of them.
And we handle it with care by calling our people in order, advising our brothers, and talking sense into them. Because sometimes somebody somewhere will come and give you a 10 naira to go and kill this man. After doing it, you yourself will start regretting. The insecurity everywhere is being caused by the enemies of the government.
Currently, the candidates of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Senator Samuel Anyanwu, and the Labour Party candidate, Senator Atan Achono, are the leading litigants challenging the victory of Governor Hope Uzodimma at the just concluded off-season elections.
Educationist in Bauchi State has called on the National Assembly to ensure that the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board extend the validation of the expiring date of JAMBs for many Nigerians to have access to tertiary institution. Trust TV's Adamu Imam reports.
Comrade Abdullahi Yalwa, a senior lecturer at the Abubakar Tatari Ali Polytechnic, Bauchi, saying the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board is more of revenue-generating agency than giving access to Nigerian students for higher education.
Every responsible government should be seen to actively participate in providing qualitative education to its citizenry, because education makes it easy for governance, for people to be governed, but difficult for them to be enslaved. And when you educate people, you have laid the foundation for peaceful coexistence and economic development and political, emancipation.
He added that multiple choices be selected by students is a source of concern.
Exception of having first, second, third and fourth choice in the JAM, examination has become a mirage because it's not real, in the sense that the only choice that is recognized is first choice. So you have to change institution if you cannot be admitted in the first instance, and you have to change department, and you have to change course, and so on and so forth. So why should JAM be deceiving Nigerians with all the number of choices, whereas they are not useful? Let JAM accept that we have only one choice. And
some students on their part expressed concern about the cut of marks required by JAM for admission.
JAM should think of a way to at least curtail that very particular marks. Because talking about institutions going for 180, 200, it's not that we are fighting about that. But there are a number of people that, talent-wise, they are very smart, and they are going in a long way in the aspect of academics. If there should be an agreed cut-off point that will be given generally, something like 140 and 50 or 60, I want to believe a number of vulnerable masses and students will have the chance to study in the university.
Stakeholders maintain that education is a pathway to prosperity, hence the need for government to give more priority to the sector. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
The police command in Kano State has arrested 2 suspects over alleged diversion of government palliatives. The suspect, one Tasiu Al-Amin Roba, a senior special assistant. The police command in Kano has also arrested 2 suspects over alleged diversion. And it says that the suspect to the cabinet office and Abdul Qadir Muhammad were arrested at a warehouse at Sharada with over 200 empty bags. According to the Commissioner of Police, Mohammed Hussein Gumel, he said they were caught while repackaging the rice and maize at a warehouse located at Sharada, adding that the command has since commenced an intense investigation to find out how many bags of rice and maize were repackaged and sold. The CP revealed that the two suspects would be charged in court after the conclusion of the investigation. A day-old baby has been recovered from the bush where he was dumped by his unknown mother in Tai area of Minna, Niger State. Residents living around the area said that the baby was found a few hours after he was abandoned on Saturday evening when residents' attention was drawn to the cries of the baby. The residents then called the Niger State Child Rights Agency to carry the baby and take care of him. This incident came some months after the body of a newborn was found in a river after the unknown mother reportedly dumped him after birth. The Niger State Child Rights Agency has taken the child to the state orphanage home for safekeeping while the investigation to ascertain who the mother is ongoing. In Borno State, farmers in Maiduguri have decried the poor harvest experienced this season caused by the shortage of rainfall and threats of terrorists. Borno State farmers in the course of November suffered casualties from Boko Haram terrorists. The farmers appealed to the government to still strengthen security in farming communities. The report. All right, okay, let's move on from that. Barely 3 weeks to the 2023 Christmas celebration prices of some foodstuff, particularly rice, gari, palm oil and crayfish, have soared in major markets in Asaba, the Delta State capital. Jonathan Anwayai, who conducted a market survey on the recent cost of these commodities, reports that their prices have increased significantly between September and December. The report.
As Nigerians prepare for the Yuletide season, consumers who are contending with the rising cost of living have been thrown into hardship, a situation that is threatening to rob them of the joy accompanying this season. Some sellers and buyers who spoke to Trust TV complained about the biting inflation, coupled with lack of funds to meet basic family obligations ahead of the festivities. A check at various markets across the Delta State capital shows that food, which is the main attraction of the Yuletide, is gradually being priced out of the reach of many average households.
The cost of food items in Nigeria is very high. The last time I went to buy rice, a bag of rice is 54,000 naira. Oil, everything is expensive, even Indomie is very high. This is Yamba, it's very good that we help us. So we are appealing to the government to come to our aid, because things are very hard. Very hunger everywhere.
Everything don't high now. Everything don't high. The gardener where they sell 800 before. Now a painter is 1,500. Now they buy them.
Traders also complained of low sales as a result of high prices of commodities and blamed high exchange rates and escalating transport fares as reason why the prices may rise further.
Cost of price in the market so high, and it's making life so difficult for me. I don't know of others, but I know life is so difficult because of the increment. Because if you can just imagine my shop right now, look at this place and look at the outside. I used to have a lot of stock here before, but because of the increment in the market, I can't even buy anything here. It's just only this particular place I focus now. But if the government can come into it and help us, well, because if we go to the market with maybe 20,000 naira, you cannot buy goods of two different type of things in the market right now.
Consumers who are caught up in this challenging situation are showing their displeasure at their inability to enjoy Christmas celebration. According to them, government should regulate the prices of food items and not leave it to the sellers to make life difficult for the people. Jonathan Awaye, Trust TV News, Asaba.
Still in Delta, the residents also lamented the high cost of subscription of mobile data in Nigeria. According to them, at a time when the cost of transportation is quite high, the services like internet subscription should not be out of people's reach to enable them keep in touch with their families. Jonathan Awaya reports.
Many subscribers to telecommunication services in Asaba, the Delta State capital, are bemoaning their fate as the cost of using the services as currently being provided by the telecoms operators have become almost impossible. Asaba residents maintain that it is becoming more difficult to keep pace with high cost of telecom services.
It is very, very alarming. And I think the NCC need to wake up to their duties, because these network providers, they have secretly, I repeat, secretly increased their data. Look at MTN, look at LTE, Glow and all. Some of them, the ones you use 1 gig for 300 before and all that, they are now 400, 350. I mean, these network providers are killing Nigerians secretly, and nobody is saying anything. Nobody is trying to caution them or to supervise them. I think NCC should wake up to their call, and this network provider should know that people are suffering. Because
when you make calls are even better than even the data. Because sometimes when you use, when you make your call, they will show your balance. The data, nothing like that. They will just cut your system.
Of present, due to the removal of the fuel subsidy, prices of everything, both consumable and services, have gone up. And when you look at the telecom, the cost of running BTS, the telecommunication, their services have really gone up, because maintaining a base station is somehow, you consider the diesel and other things they do to ensure that there is services, and there's bound to be increase in the prices in the rate of their data and other, the call and everything.
The same concerns runs through other respondents who complain bitterly about the high-cost data services in the country, as they wondered why it has become so difficult for Nigerians to enjoy such services without breaking the banks. Jonathan Awaye, Trust TV News, Asaba.
Over the years, the deplorable conditions of the National Youth Service Corps orientation camps have been a major concern not only to the posted members but their parents, especially in the areas of security. However, there is much to that, according to some Corps members, precisely lack of proper sanitation facilities, including toilets and showers. The dilapidated and overcrowded hostels needed to be checked, and among others. Salis Lawan reports.
The center! Quick march!
NYSC CAM is a place where Corps members spend 21 days of their orientations in the spirit of oneness and brotherhood of all Nigerians, irrespective of cultural or social background. Yet, CAM situations nationwide are appealing, except in some few states where their problems are not more than overcrowded hostels. These Corps members share their experiences during their 21 days orientation period at Damari NYSC CAM in Giro local government area, Adamawa State.
It is, except if you are not in Adama orientation camp, because you can't deny the fact that these things are like in there. There's water, there's lights, and at least it's one of the most important things. Because even if there's no light, in 2 minutes the water will be back. They always make sure that we are comfortable. In fact, Adama State Orientation Camp has tried for coppers and is still trying. They are really improving.
With the other conditions in camp, since it's like a training and it's an orientation stuff, I was not expecting much. I was not expecting something to be a place that I'll come to enjoy, but to come and have a different experience, like a military experience. So with the situation of things at that time, I was cool with it. Since we were meant to also be part of keeping the environment clean, we were responsible for that. It's part of our duty. So
as all effort to speak with NYSC officials in Adamawa proved abortive as regard the camp situation, saying they are not allowed to speak to press. Investigations revealed that NYSC camp's conditions nationwide needed to be improved.
Security there is tight, and they're trying all their best to make sure that all the core members there live comfortable, and the hygienic situation is okay, is nice. At least they're trying their best to make sure that everywhere is well kept. Although there's still more rooms for improvement, like more rooms to add bathrooms, because I saw that the bathrooms was not too much, and you know we have a lot of core members, so they should maybe improve on the bathroom, like adding more. And also
stakeholders believed addressing the aforementioned challenges will make the scheme orientation days better in accordance to its objectives. Salis Lewan, Trust TV News, Yola.
Some students of the College of Medicine, University of Ibadan, have lamented the deplorable state of accommodation in the institution. A cross-section of the students who shared their experiences with Trust TV revealed that this challenge is negatively impacting their studies and academic productivity. The report.
In every educational institution, a conducive learning environment is necessary for a productive experience in school. However, for students at the College of Medicine, University of Ibadan, the situation is different as they encounter numerous challenges in their campus life. Joseph Adiyeye is a 600-level student of medicine and surgery. He's the chairman, Alexander Brown Hall. Joseph and others want the school management to provide more space for the students, as they usually encounter attacks from strangers outside the campus.
Not all clinical students are fully accommodated in Alexander Brown Hall. There are not enough spaces for all of us here.
And what implication does that have on the studies?
Okay, so for some students who are not accommodated, they have to stay off campus, and the MBBS program is a full-time course, 24/7 course. We need to be in the hospital most hours of the days and nights. So because they are off campus, it's difficult for them to fully access their studies.
What is paramount for us is the safety of ourselves and our members as a whole. So we have had instances where students were robbed, and for our course of studies, one that requires you to be on the wards late in the night. During exams, you are required to be on campus so you can be around your mates. But then due to the inadequacy of the bed spaces we have currently, we have students staying off campus, so they are prone to attacks during these periods. So yes, safety is one of the paramount issues that we are facing.
Most of us do not have accommodation because about 50% of us have to ballot for spaces, and at the end of the day, only about 50% end up being accommodated. As a result, students have to stay off campus or squat or sleep in the reading rooms, and this is not very ideal because most of us are exposed to a lot of risk. Yes, I had a classmate who was robbed on our way home. I also had another classmate who had a gunshot, and another who was assaulted by these unknown armed robbers.
Atimowo Feinfolua, a dental student, emphasizes the need for renewable energy in the hostels, citing frequent blackouts that hinder their ability to study for exams.
Recently, one of us was attacked by unknown armed men, and he was macheted in the left eye, and this was really a very horrific experience for him.
So, the call again?
Yeah, my plea goes out to well-meaning Nigerians and bodies, agencies, the federal government out there, that they should help by financing and providing the necessary materials, necessary resources for the build-to-build project, so that we students, which are the future, we are the future of this nation, will be properly and adequately accommodated.
Right, so I'd like to beg the federal government to please support the build-to-build program by sending sponsors and donations for our cost.
What to the federal government is for them to help us to raise support us with money, so that the building of this new accommodation will be completed as quick as possible, and this will enable physiotherapy students, 400 level, 300 level, 5 level, to have more access to accommodation and spaces, and this will also help us to reduce the number of students going outside to go and look for accommodation and reduce the attack on our students.
In her reactions, the Provost College of Medicine said the management is aware of some of the plights of the students, assuring that they will be looked into in due course.
When I came back, we assessed the situation. We discovered about more than, over, like, let's say, approximately 50% of them were not able to get accommodation here in UCH. And many of our students were living off campus in places like Yemetu and other areas. And we've had reports of students who were, harassed. Students were beaten up. Their goods were stolen. They were assaulted. And that in itself is a problem when your students are not safe. There was even a case that was so unfortunate. I think they went to raid a house somewhere in this neighborhood, the police. And some of our students were there, and they just carried them along. And we had to go, and the dean of students had to go and bail out students.
Meanwhile, efforts are underway to address the challenges faced by the students. The provost appeals to the federal government and well-meaning individuals to support the school in its quest to restore the hostels.
From the international scene, the Director General of the government's media office in Gaza has said that more than 700 Palestinians have been killed in Gaza during the last 24 hours. Hamas says captive prisoner swap talks will not resume until Israeli onslaught in Gaza ends. Israel pulled back its negotiators from Qatar on Saturday, saying that Hamas violated the terms of truce agreement. At least 15,207 Palestinians have been killed in Gaza since October 7th. In Israel, the official death toll stands at about 1,200. Finally, in sports, Kevin Durant moved to 10th in the NBA all-time scoring list, but his Phoenix Suns were beaten by the Denver Nuggets. It says that the 35-year-old went into the game needing about 17 points to move past Moses Malone and scored 30 to give him a career total of 27,423 points. However, it was not enough to stop his side falling to a 119-111 defeat. Nikola Jokic starred for Denver, scoring 21 points and having 16 assists, while all 5 starters scored at least 15 points. And with this, we wrap up News Hour on Trusted Television. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms and join our YouTube live stream for more news programs and documentaries. I am Sumaya Abubakar. Thanks for watching.
From the Daily Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.